What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. I got some big news for you guys today. Cathie Wood, otherwise known as my baby mama, yes, and ARK are launching a new ETF. And this ETF is going to be based around space exploration. It is going to be called ARKX. This headline came just after market close. And as you can imagine, space stocks actually jumped. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you what stocks to focus on in light of this news and give you some buying ideas that might not be that obvious currently, but getting in now could eventually pan out. And as you know, I like to get in before catalysts as much as possible. I mean, we all do. That's just obvious. I will also give you some details as to when this ETF is going to be available for trading. But before I do, if you get anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up just like this. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know if you're excited about this ETF and which one of the space stocks that I mentioned you already hold. And if you want access to our private trading group, link is in the description below. Has been an insane week on a lot of momentum stocks that we bought on the dip. GNOG, Fubo TV, Go EV, Skills, etc. So let us get right into it. So I'm going to start off with the news and then we will get into the plays. So as I said, Cathie Wood and ARK are creating this new ETF. The ticker symbol will be ARKX. And the reason we know this is because obviously these are public companies and funds, so they have to do securities filings with the SEC. And lucky for you, I have the security filing right here from the SEC's website. So the fund itself will be dividing the space industry into four main categories: orbital aerospace, suborbital aerospace, enabling technologies, and aerospace beneficiary. I have no clue what most of these mean, but in all seriousness, the fund sounds like it's going to be all encompassing. So not just obvious space plays like Virgin Galactic, but any enabling technologies that would allow for further space exploration or innovation in the aerospace industry. So it could be a company that does 3D printing or something similar to Nano Dimension, for instance. I'm not saying Nano Dimension is going to be in here, but you're going to want to start thinking about what could be encompassing. Because yes, when this ETF comes out, for sure we are going to buy it. Any of ARK ETFs are going to be winners just based on the hype. But remember, just like we saw with Tesla before the S&P 500, this ETF will have to be buying up the shares of the stocks that it wants to hold, and those large orders could cause rabid buying. Now, they do provide a little more detail as to the categories that I just mentioned. So here it says, orbital aerospace companies are companies that launch, make, service, or operate platforms in the orbital space, including satellites and launch vehicles. Suborbital aerospace companies are companies that launch, make, service, or operate platforms in the suborbital space, including drones, air taxis, and electric aviation vehicles. So one ticker symbol that comes immediately to mind is AVAV, which specialize in unmanned aircraft vehicles, or UAVs. Furthermore, it says enabling technology companies are companies that create the technologies required for successful value-add aerospace operations, including artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D printing, materials, and energy storing. So you can already see that this fund will be all encompassing. We're not just talking about specifically space stocks. And the last category, aerospace beneficiary companies, are companies that stand to benefit from aerospace activities, including agriculture, internet access, global positioning system, construction, and imaging. All right, so before we get into which stocks and ticker symbols we can get into in preparation for this, let us take a look at when we can expect this to go live, or when we can expect this ticker to start trading. Well, looking at the SEC document, it says 75 days after filing pursuant to paragraph A2. So I assume that there's a bunch of conditions here, but to keep it short, assuming that all goes well, 75 days after this filing, and if we look at the date of the filing, it's today's date, which is January 13th, 2021. So that would put us around March 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, stay tuned to this channel and the updates that I give, both in the videos as well as the posts that I make on YouTube, or if you're in our private trading group, and I will keep an eye out on this and we'll keep you guys updated, but that's the date that we're looking at right now. So let me give you some ticker symbols in preparation for this, and then I will give you a play that I think is not that obvious. And I've actually talked about this before, and we made a killing on that stock already, but it looks about time for a re-entry. So these stocks, in my view, should be bought on any weakness. So I wouldn't buy them at the all-time high, but any time these stocks retrace to major moving averages, and you can get a free trading view account and practice this stuff on your own. Don't shy away from this. And obviously, I will be sending out all relevant plays in our trading community. But a ticker symbol that I'm interested in looking at that will probably fall under this ETF is AMBA or Ambarella. And if you're not familiar with Ambarella, Ambarella develops semiconductor processing solutions for video that enable high-def video capture, analysis, sharing, and display worldwide. They also just released a flagship AI vision processor. So you remember those categories that we talked about in the ETF? Well, this would fall under there. And Ambarella, I mean, aside from this news, is a stock that in my view should be bought on weakness anyway. And mind you, most of these stocks that I'm talking about are for long term. These aren't overnight swings. Stock number 2 is a no-brainer, NNDM, Nano Dimension. We've talked about this one before. It is now at just above the $10 mark. And it's no secret that ARK already invests in this. So this is already on the radar. Buying some of this for their ARKX fund is a no-brainer. And I think that this should also be bought on any sign of weakness. In this case, you could see that NNDM always retraces to the 21 exponential moving average, which is the white line on my chart. Again, you can get a free trading view account and do this for yourself. Don't be shy. Don't shy away from it. You want to be better traders? This is what you have to do. Otherwise, yes, you could buy the stock wherever it's at and hold for the long term. But if you're trying to get optimal pricing, then you wait for what are recognizable discounts. Now, the next ticker symbol to keep on your radar to buy on any weakness is PAOTF. Parrot SA. This is actually a French company, but they do have a contract with the US Army. They build drones for the Army, among other customers that they have. Their drones are specifically built for first responders, firefighters, search and rescue teams, security agencies, and surveying and inspection professionals. And they're looking to compete with Chinese drone technology. And as you know, the US government is relying less and less on Chinese technology, especially in the area of defense. So again, aside from ARKX, I believe PAOTF, I mean, you can look at it at its trend. You know, back in March, this was trading under $2 and it's almost at $7.50. So on any weakness, I do think this is a good holding. Now, also, just to pause for a second, I'm not saying that these will for sure be an ARKX. What we're trying to do is find companies that are valuable already that ARKX might be interested in buying. But even if they don't buy them, these are still companies that should be on your radar on any weakness, if you are looking for exposure in aerospace and the components that surround that industry. All right, another stock, this is an obvious one, SPCE or Virgin Galactic Holdings. This one jumped 13% after market, but I do believe there is still room left to get to at least the $34 mark. Since we have 75 days at least until ARKX is released, I would wait. If you're not already in SPCE or you're not playing this tiny move from $31 to $34, I would personally wait until there is a retracement here. As you can see, SPCE is actually a pretty easy stock to read. Every time it falls to this trend line here. So the next time that it drops to this trend line, or whatever trend line you draw, obviously you don't have access to my charts. You can either pause this and look at it, or you can try to drop a trend line on your own. But the point is, anytime it retraces, you will want to get an SPCE. Now, another stock I've been trying to get into that I think for sure will be part of ARKX. Again, this is my opinion. I could be completely wrong, guys. But either way, like I said, we're not looking for crap stocks. These stocks are good to own anyway. But we also want to try to play the future catalyst if possible. Maxar Technologies. If you're wondering what this company does, let's take a look at its summary real quick. But Maxar Technologies provides Earth intelligence and space infrastructure solutions in the US, Asia, South America, Europe, Middle East, Australia, Canada, and internationally. Wait, don't those countries count as being international? Anyway, that was worded a little strangely, but it operates through Earth intelligence and space infrastructure segments. And it has a subscription service called Secure Watch that provides online access to imagery and geospatial intelligence platform, as well as geospatial information applications and analytics services. So this looks like it would be right up ARKX's alley. Now, this stock has been absolutely flying. I definitely missed an opportunity on this stock early on. Completely forgot about it, to be honest, and then remembered it today as ARKX was announced. But this is one that has been on an uptrend since even before the pandemic. This is March 2019 right here. So a full year before the pandemic. And back in March 2019, this was $3. It's currently trading at almost 39 bucks. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at this on any sign of weakness. Again, I will be sending sending these plays out all in the trade alerts when I think they are viable to enter. All right, and the last stock I will give you, because you're probably tired of hearing me rambling, is VJAC. Now, I've talked about this before, and we made a ton of money on the warrants, but VJAC is Richard Branson's SPAC, right? Virgin Galactic Acquisition Corp, I believe. Now, we bought into the warrants when they were like $1.90 and rode them all the way up to over $3. I ended up setting a stop limit. My stop limit hit, and I didn't get back until a couple of days ago when I saw this double bottom formation forming. Now, if you're not in tune with the charts, don't worry. I'm not trying to intimidate you. I'm just trying to onboard you as quickly as possible when it comes to charts. But this right here is a very bullish pattern. So aside from the Cathie Wood news or the ARK news, this right here is a very bullish pattern. And post market or after hours, this thing already jumped. Let's see, this thing already jumped almost 8% after hours. But the reason that I think this is a sleeper play is because we don't even know what the hell this is. This is a SPAC, meaning a special purpose acquisition company. So we don't even know what Richard Branson is planning on merging with using this SPAC. Now, there is a little bit of speculation that it might be an EV play, in which case you'll want to be in it anyway because EVs are all the rage right now. But there is some speculation that it could be either in the Hyperloop or in the space exploration sector. So you definitely want to get in this, because even if you don't play the warrants, and if you don't know what warrants are, I'll explain them in a second. I think there's a little bit of misinformation among YouTube gurus, but the SPAC basically has a default trading price of $10. It is now trading at around $11.70. So still early because we don't know what the company is, but once the company is announced, I think we will see the SPAC fly like we see all other SPACs fly. And it would be a 1-2 punch if the SPAC is actually in the space exploration sector. And on top of that, if ARKX actually takes a serious look at it. Now, I know that's a stretch because this company is pre-merger, but like I said, we want to ride the success of the stock pre-catalyst. So even if this just turns out to be an EV play, I still want to be in this. All right, so real quick, what is a warrant? And then we will wrap the video up. A warrant is basically like an option, but instead of the contract being between you and another trader, the warrant is a contract between you and the company. And in this case, it gives you the option to buy shares of VJAC at $11.50. However, we trade these warrants like they're penny stocks or options because they are so low priced. They generally make wilder swings than the actual shares themselves. You certainly don't have to play the warrants. You can, if you wanted to gain exposure to the SPAC, you can just buy the shares of VJAC. But for instance, if we look at VJAC, after hours, it is only up less than 1%. Like I said, the warrants are up 8%. So you could see the leveraged factor that warrants might have over the shares, but obviously they are just as risky. So yes, you can make way more money, but you can also lose way more money. So it's really up to your risk profile. Either way, I definitely want to get in this pre-merger as close to $10 as possible. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully I shed some light on some new news that you might have not known about with regards to this new ETF. Again, look for it around 75 days from the filing, which is January 13th, the date of this recording. If you get anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up just like this. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know which one of these stocks you are already in, or which ones you are excited about getting into. If you want to learn how to trade options, my options course is coming out soon. You will see a link for the early bird signups in the pinned comment below. It'll be the first comment under the video. And if you want access to a private trading group, link is in the description. Subscribe to the channel, beautiful people. Hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.